Morning, everybody. Project Lifesaver, as you know, as Cindy mentioned before, is a new initiative that's coming to LA County. What it is, in a sense, is this wristband, and this wristband sends out a transmission every 6 seconds. Okay, so we're going to be issued to residents in LA County that either are autistic, Alzheimer's, or any patients that are prone to wandering off from a house and when I say LA County, all 88 cities within LA County. So what happens is this person that either suffers from Alzheimer's or that's autistic, you can wear the bracelet, fit the bracelet on a piece of clothing, put it on a shoe, wherever it may be. Now say they wander off. The procedure is going to be that the caregiver calls the local police department or the sheriff's station, reports their loved one missing. Hey, I have a loved one missing, and they're wearing a Project Lifesaver bracelet. They're going to send a deputy or police officer to the scene. In addition, they're going to call our 24-hour triage desk at South Del Monte, and we work for the mental evaluation team. So it's the Los Angeles County Sheriff's mental evaluation team triage desk. They're going to notify myself or Sergeant Bojorquez, and in addition to, we have a cadre right now up to I think we're up to 12 people that are trained on how to locate the equipment. So they're going to call one of us to let us know, hey, there's a person that was missing. Let's just say, for example, right here. Let's just say in this building right here, someone's wandered off, and they're wearing a Project Lifesaver bracelet, last seen 30 minutes ago. Well, with the Alzheimer's, they say you can get approximately 4 miles within an hour, 4 miles an hour. So if you do the math, 30 minutes ago, you have a propensity to be approximately 2 miles away. So we'll respond. In addition to LAPD, because we're going to take the lead in all of LA County. So we'll respond, and we have this equipment, this Ghostbuster-looking equipment, and Sergeant Borges will give a quick demonstration. We're utilizing this equipment, and with the assistance of, we have our Aero Bureau as well. Sergeant Borges came from Aero Bureau, so he can kind of explain the helicopter. If we can't find them on the ground, we'll also call in the helicopter. And utilizing this equipment, unlike a GPS, that's the second question people always says, why not a GPS? Well, let's give this for example. Say this location right here. A GPS will tell you it's in this area, but it won't tell you what floor they're on, it won't tell you what room they're in, and it has limitations. Say we're underground in a parking structure. This will keep sending that signal, and it'll make its way out of that parking structure. This is the same technology that's in black boxes and airplanes. So regardless of where it's at, it can be in the mountains, no service, it'll send that signal, and it doesn't utilize anything else. When we'll kind of break down the bracelets for you guys and how to change the batteries and how to issue them, but I just wanted you to understand what the equipment you're dealing with first. So this sends out an RF signal, and it's always sending that signal every 6 seconds. As long as this battery is good in this, and it's coming upon when you guys issue to the caregiver, how to check the batteries every day, that's all it needs. If the batteries last, they say for about 90 days, but we're going to change them every 60 days just to make sure it doesn't go over that lapse. They say 30 to 60 days, keep it in range. Possibly it goes up all as far as 90 days. And we'll get to, the batteries being waterproof, the wristbands being waterproof, they're applied properly with this grease. And so back to the equipment. So it sends off a signal, and doesn't matter how high they are floor, we'll do a quick demonstration. And we'll be able to locate them. And we've been doing this training so far. I've taught up to 12 people. We've sent a rabbit, quote unquote, a fake transmitter. We put it in a bush. Typically, it's going to be on a person. We are half a mile away. We were able to find that transmitter within 10 minutes. So, and this is typically, we have the equipment of the vehicle, and like I said, I'll let Sergeant Bojo cover the helicopter since he came from there, and then more about the equipment itself.
So you can see this are the testers that come with the kit, and so as a caregiver, when you install the battery, you test to make sure it's sending the signal. You can see that the light's flashing. It's flashing at a rate faster than 6 seconds. Well, they say 6 seconds because that's about the time it takes to send the signal and for the receiver to pick it up and you can read it. So it's probably a burst rate a lot faster than 6.
Exactly.
But you can see you see the red light flashing there. So this is the tester to make sure that the equipment is working once you replace the battery. So it comes with the kit. These are the receivers, and every one of these transmitters comes with its own code, and it's encoded inside of it. So it'll come with a frequency. So it'll be our job. We understand this. We'll program it to the specific frequency. So the caregiver, when they put the transmitter on the patient, they'll log that frequency in the system. So when they come up missing, they'll let us know. We'll program our receivers to that frequency, and we'll be able to find them. He put one out where you put it out there somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So there's one of those out there, and this is the way. It's a very simple concept, very basic the way it works. So what we do is we adjust our range. It's called a gain, but it's basically a range. This is good for up to a mile. The handheld unit goes from here to a mile away, 3/4 of a mile to a mile. It's pretty accurate. So that's with the range set all the way up. But let's say they said it was last seen 5 minutes ago. Okay, we know it's not going to be a mile away if it was last seen 5 minutes ago. So we'll set that range on a lower scale. So within 1/4 of a mile or less, within 100 feet, 100 yards, whatever that'll be. So I'll put it in the medium range and I'll flip it on. Has a battery. You always want to check the life of the battery that comes in here. It's a 9-volt battery that powers it. So you do the battery test, tells you the battery's okay. You always want to make sure, you know, on our end, it's not so important for you, but want to make sure we're working with good, and then flip it on. Hear that audible noise?
Just for, he doesn't know where I planted this either. Just for he has no idea where I planted this, and obviously,
So I'm getting a strong signal, and you'll see when I turn this way, signal's a lot, you hear the audible tone is a lot stronger, and then we'll do what's the 360, and you'll actually hear it start to fade. So it's coming in equal, so I'll turn it down one more. Now it's a lot less. You can hear the tone is a lot less. And I know it's out there somewhere. So it gets kind of louder. So what we do is we can do it around. The closer you get, it'll get louder. I'll put it up on the 1 mile range and you'll see a lot of interference, but you can hear it through there.
So you're going to actually walk that.
All we do is it's like slicing a pie. So what I'll do is, when we go out on a ground search, once we have identified that the target's within a range to where we would get out of the cars and do a ground search, we turn it down and we just sweep. So, okay, if I'm not getting a signal or the signal's faint here, I do a 360, kind of slow because we got to allow for that transmission. And wherever I hear it get louder, see right here, it almost doesn't exist. So I know it's not in this area. So I go back here, and it's getting louder. So I know it's out there somewhere. So we simply walk in that direction. And the tone will get louder and louder and louder. It'll sound like this when you're right on top of it. And then you know you're within feet of this thing. So if it's on a person, it'll be easy to find. And we've hid these devices everywhere. We put them on people who are actively trying to evade us. We had one that was 5 miles away initially. We have an antenna called an omnidirectional. That antenna, basically, we disconnect this, plug in the antenna to the roof mount of the car. When we're driving around, it's within 1/4 mile each direction of the car. Well, then we also have one of those omnidirectional antennas with this device in a helicopter. The helicopter searches up to, it's about a 3 mile radius. So if they've been missing for an hour or more, we send the helicopter out initially to do a broader search. They pick up the initial signal, we bring in the ground units, we drive around, we kind of triangulate an area where we think they might be in, then we get out on foot and we find them this way. So we want to go out.
The first one, just a little background, but one more time behind the project itself. They did 3,400. So far, there's been 3,400 active searches, all the way to Australia. This equipment exists in police departments over there. 3,400 active searches and 3,400 recoveries. All of them been found. The first one they said it was found within what did they say? I think it was 8 minutes. Mm-hmm. The next street block over in an abandoned house underground in a locked closet.
Wow.
And it was like 30 degrees outside in Virginia or back east. So just imagine, the chances of not only searching the house, but then going underground into the cellar in a locked closet, and this will lead it right to them. So like I said, the GPS will tell you it's in there, but you will know exactly. When you'll see the demonstration when Boja goes, it'll lead you right to exactly where it is.
You guys know the stats. In Alzheimer's patients especially, once they've developed a mission, they're not gonna stop, so they'll actively evade law enforcement. So the old way we search for missing people was send a helicopter on a speaker and we're announcing, hey, you know, come out, make yourself known. A lot of Alzheimer's patients hear that and they know they're being looked for, so they'll actively try and evade. Because they're on a mission, they're trying to find whatever's come back from their long-term memory 30 years ago. They're trying to find that place or reenact or go to that thing, whatever's driving them, and they don't want to be interrupted. So once they've developed a mission, they're going to wander, they're going to keep going, and it'll be harder to recover, like the one we had that was in the Home Depot walking around. He was told to actively evade me, and I was in the Home Depot tracking him, and I'd get a strong signal here, and I'd just do my sweep, and it would fade here. I'd go back to where I had the strong signal, and it wasn't there anymore. But then when I got here, it was there, and I just kept doing that. I was like, oh, he's walking this way. So I just walked in the Home Depot. We were paralleling each other, and we came around the corner and bumped into each other. So
with that being said, like Zach, if you said, oh, the patient's in Home Depot, you all have kids, or you know, did a kid at Walmart, you turn them back and they're gone. How much did you spend looking for him? He was able to find him by himself.
Yeah.
You know, we're on the next block, but within when you got into Home Depot, how fast?
like 2 minutes.
You know, opposed to, you know,
It was clear.
Wow.
so that's what they said. But also the key component of this is autistic kids, and they go for water. You know, the highest statistic for autistic person is dying is by drowning because they're attracted to water, and they'll go in, and that's why these are water. We'll get to that later on. But we'll do a quick live demonstration. Are you ready for the camera to go mobile?
And that's the other thing about with Alzheimer's patients. If you don't find them within the first 24 hours, it's only a 50% chance you're going to find them alive after that. And then every day it drops down. So, yeah.
We'll do a live demonstration. He doesn't know where I plan this. 419.
419?
Yeah.
So we're on the signal, and the important thing for the caregiver is to make sure that they document the right frequency. This is no good without them telling us what the frequency is.
So I'll give you a quick example. If they just say they said 409, which is off by 1, I turn it on. I'm not going to pick anything. I don't pick anything up. So that's why it's key, as you mentioned, to kind of.
Yeah. So we know we're looking for the right transmitter. I'm getting a signal, so we can go out and. So it's fading here. Pretty loud here. And it's fading here. So I'm saying from here to here. Even louder. I'm right on top of it.
Off the balls, too. That's when you have to key the training to kind of.
So it's going to be this way. It's fading. It seems like it's in this cubicle around here. Yeah, it could be one of these.
No.
No.
360.
Okay, it's getting louder right here. It's just getting deflection. There it goes.
There it is.
Yep, right here. There you go. So there it is.
And if this was a person, you would have found like.
Yeah.
Like
So,
especially.
so what we get to is deflection. So I was like, okay, I thought it was this cubicle.
Okay.
But then,
Every frequency is unique in a sense as it has 3 digits. Well, the first rollout, I think we're getting 130 with addition. So if you do the math, 3 digit, the variations are almost 1,000. So they say we go over the 1,000. Say this project gets liked. What's going to happen is to avoid picking up the same signal. Let's say hypothetically there's 419 here, and there's another patient that's 419. They're going to try to spread them out 10 miles apart. So everyone with the duplicate numbers is going to be 10 miles apart. But let's just say Murphy's Law. They both decide to go to Universal Studios that day.
yeah.
And they both go to Universal Studios and one goes missing. We'll be able to find the other one in addition. So we'll find the first one. What we're going to do is we'll explain the badge. We'll just deactivate theirs. Now we'll focus on the missing person. So that's just something to consider as well. And then we took apart the unit and we'll pass them out.
This is the actual transmitter device, and you can see on it, it has a frequency.
So pass these
Oh,
around.
218.
218, 8 would be this one. There's some that operate in 216, so we switch this number to a 6 if we need to. right? But we, for LA County, they thought the ban was specific to
That's what it
this
looks
year.
like.
So 218 is the broader ban, and then
If you can, I'll give everybody, if you can partner up in teams of two, I'll just use yours as a sample. I have one more.
you're gonna give me another
You can.
stuff too.
Yeah, oh yeah, can you pass this on? Yeah. So, this is obviously just a simple wristband. Each kit that you guys are going to issue in summoners is going to look like this. This kit's going to have everything in it for additional batteries. I believe each one's going to come with 6 batteries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe like 6 wristbands. The grease, and actually more batteries. The little attachment for the grease.
And the battery tester.
And a battery tester.
And the bands.
And the bands, correct.
Yeah, see, I want to tell them about the proprietary.
Oh, and also too, the batteries itself, they're Project Lifesaver batteries. So they want issuing, additional O-rings, which are important. You can't see them on there, but if you guys can, every kid, if you can take out that O-ring, has the shell, if you may. This is the actual transmitter, a battery, the clasp, if you may, the cover, and with that O-ring.
Oh, yeah.
That's fine.
You need paper towel?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, is there a restroom out here? I can grab it.
There's a kitchen right there, I can get some for you.
Okay.
And then the key is, once you install it, just use that battery tester and just make sure that red light's going on.
Okay, this is just a kid, the Titanic.
Do they have a battery tester?
Yeah, I took it from them, but
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
get it back to them.
The red light.
So you can buy these in the store, but Project Lifesaver will not stand behind it. If the caregiver decides they want to go get a battery on their own, it voids the warranty of the transmitter. So you have to use the stuff that comes with the kit. And it can be replenished. They just go online and order it, and they send it, go to the Project Lifesaver website, and if they're running out of batteries, they just order more and have them sent. But it has to be Project Lifesaver equipment. Same with the lube. You have to use this in conjunction with the entire system. That way they warranty it, they guarantee it, they back it. If anything goes wrong, as long as you're using the batteries and all the proper equipment, they're fine with it. If it's defective, they'll just replace it. So-
And in addition to that, the pilot program, they're going to issue enough batteries to last through the whole pilot program itself. The other difference too is it comes with these hospital beds. They have different options, different wristbands, and different methods that explain that kids with autism, some kids, not all of them, some don't like stuff on the wrist. So the caregivers became creative, and every outfit, every clothing that this kid wears, it's a pouch. Every single clothing, they just put the thing in the pouch and put the shirt on the kid, and he doesn't even know. And then another example that Jean gave is a female didn't like any jewelry, nothing on her. She's very sensitive to touch, but everywhere she went, she carried a doll. So they were able to take the doll's head off, put this thing on, and screw back on. She went missing. Well, she had the doll with her, and they found the doll. They found the transmitter with her with the doll. So it's just different options. But so the next thing is putting the wristbands on. Where everybody will get. What you do is make sure that it's like pretty much face up like this, and then you just kind of thread one through, thread the other through. And then, without clasping them, because we only have so many wristbands, we'll just go over, without actually closing it. Wherever their comfort level is, I don't like stuff too tight, even watches, so whatever their comfort level is, and then eventually you'll snap it down, and then it'll just cut it over, or you can go over like this, but preferably just to close it, and then just cut it with scissors so it doesn't get stagnant or anything.
They say the standard is if you can put a finger under there when you tighten it.
You guys each
That's
practice
about the right
put it on
comfort level where it won't be.
your partner,
you can't
on your
sit
partner
down.
if you can, and then vice versa. Yeah, if you can, don't close them though.
It's permanent. Once you snap that down, it's permanent. It has to be cut off. So just to let you know.
Is its key component is the caregiver knowing how to install this and that frequency. As a backup plan, we're going to have a database eventually. With the 130 we're going to issue, we're going to obviously know what frequency they're on, and we're going to keep that database at our triage desk, because as I gave the demonstration, if I go to 419, and it's understandable if they're in a panic state that, it's like anything, I've dealt with, Bojo's dealt with calls, and you ask something as simple as their date of birth, they're flustered, and so that number might not come off as fluently. So the key is as long as they know the person's name or their address, because we'll have a database that we could kind of look it up. And but the key to this also too is them installing the battery correctly, making sure they test it every day, they log it, and when we do the after action report, we're going to check their logs and check, if this is when this goes to live search, we'll check all that to ensure everything was done properly. Because if it doesn't send that signal, like I explained, it's like a black box technology, the same technology in airplanes in a black box. It sends that signal out, but the key is that they have to change the battery. I think we're going to come up with a program to see how we're going to eventually change the batteries. If you guys are going to be the ones to change the batteries, but the key for them is, even if you guys change the batteries, is they need to test it every day, because it's not feasible for us to test every one. But at least somebody tests it every single day.
They'll have that.
And they're going to get issued that tester. So you guys are going to get issued, I believe, the batteries, the O-rings, extra bracelets, this key, the grease, and everything. If anything, like I said, if there's any key component that's missing, or if you need anything else, obviously, we'll have more. And then obviously the frequencies, and then we're still working out, the procedures, with letting police departments know, our triage list, and obviously the press release is September 5th, so we'll get more info on that.
Sergeant, is the expectation that when an individual calls to report a missing loved one, that they provide the code on the bracelet?
Yeah, yes, because let's say, for example, let's just use this area, for example. Okay, let's just say they're here visiting and they went missing. Well, Los Angeles Police Department's going to respond because it was last seen here. Los Angeles Police Department's not going to know the code. So it's two things: that the person has it on them just to expedite it, but if they don't know, as long as they know their name, and when they call the triage desk, we'll be able to look them up. But if they can have information on them, then yes, that's
It's
correct.
like anything, the more information initially, the more prepared the people that respond are, and so it gives us an edge. If we already have the frequency rolling in, because the way we're going to get activated is, I might be home when the activation happens. I have my device with me. So coming from my home, depending on where it is, I may be closer to where it's happening, where he may be farther away. So if I have that number initially, I just program it in. I put the antenna on my car. I'm actively searching from the time I leave my home. So I'm already looking for a signal, and depending on the time the person went missing. Because in all reality too, is a lot of these, especially elderly folks, they'll get on public transportation. Public transportation is so spread out now. It goes everywhere. Almost glad we don't have the bullet train to Vegas yet. That would be a big search.
Yeah, we'll have to do a search in Vegas.
Yeah.
We gotta go to Vegas.
But you can see how it can become a nightmare when they get on public transportation. Say they go missing in Long Beach, and the reality is we can find them in Pasadena.
Correct.
So if I'm actively searching from wherever I'm leaving with that frequency and it's going, and I start getting a signal, and I see the train rolling by, like, hey, he might be on the train, because there's no other way I would be getting that signal unless there's two of them. And then that's the other information I would do is call the desk and say, hey, where's this other, maybe we have 3 people with the same frequency. Where's this other person? Oh, he's in Pasadena. Okay, then I can disregard that and keep rolling to the location wherever I gotta go. So.
Any other questions on that?
What day is the press release?
September 5th.
I have a question about the tester. Does that have battery?
It has battery in it too.
How often does that need to be
What
changed?
do they say about it?
That one's years. They said that one
Yeah.
since it just uses so little power.
Yeah, that thing will last a long, long time. The other thing I wanted to reiterate is when we had our training, they stressed that the 2 most important aspects of Project Lifesaver is the battery and the caregiver. It's only as good as those 2.
Yeah.
So if the caregiver is not doing their job, there's things that we have where they actually can be disqualified from the program if the caregiver is not doing their job. Because it's only as good as it's kind of like that thing. We have all these resources for somebody. We're trying to help them, but if they're not doing their job, that's why it's important. You got to educate them. Hey, this is a very important aspect of it. Check the battery every day, make sure it's working. Because if they just decide, why do it? That's going to work all the time. It's going to be that one incident where we're going to be looking and it's not going to work because the caregiver didn't do their job. So.
It's also you got document, like I said, document.
So, is this the code number here?
That's the code number, correct.
So, and you see all the packets, they'll come, they put it on there also. So that's the band, and then that's the frequency.
We've just been writing them, they've been coming off, we write them permanent marker, just for our training purposes. So we don't have to keep taking them off when we do our little training, but it'll be inside if we need to ever. Let's just say hypothetically, they're moving out of LA County, because I think the pilot program is that you have to be a resident of LA County. If they're gonna move out, we'll take it back, and we could just, on the screen, like, just say they lost the paper, that's our way to open it up and then look at the number, we could always test them too. Before we issue them, we're gonna all do testing on them too. Because they could have put the number wrong, they could have, all it is it could be a human error. You know, so we'll write the number, we'll double check it before it leaves the office. And that's one of our ways to just do a quick check on it.
Good question.
Yes.
If I sign up for this project and my loved one is lost, what is the first step I need to take? Do I contact the sheriff of the,
What city do you live?
let's imagine Compton.
Okay, so you live in Compton. Compton's patrolled by a sheriff's station, right? And that's where I used to work, that's where I promoted to. So you'll call Compton Sheriff Station, you're gonna speak to a dispatcher. And the dispatcher, you're gonna explain, hey, my loved one's missing, it was last seen. They're gonna ask you how long ago, what they're wearing, what their name is, and they're gonna type in the call. The question that we're bringing up now, we're trying to change is, they're gonna ask you, if you, let's just say you're in a state of shock. Typically, they would assume that you would say, hey, my loved one's a member of Project Lifesaver, and you're gonna know. But one of the questions is the dispatcher can ask you, is your member or is your loved one a member of Project Lifesaver? Let's just say that step was lost. When the deputy responds to your house, they're gonna have a checkoff list. And the checkoff list encompasses different, other than what were they wearing, was their last seen, you know, they're gonna search the house. One of the checkoff boxes is, are they a member of Project Lifesaver? And if you say yes, let's just say in this state of shock you forgot to tell them that, they're gonna ask you. Once you say yes, the instructions for the deputy, not you, is to call our triage desk, and the deputy, or like if the first line of defense, let's say the dispatcher says, oh yeah, my loved one's a member of Project Lifesaver, they're all going to be calling the triage desk.
Okay.
So in addition to Compton Sheriff Station taking the report, we're going to get dispatched, as Sergeant Bozier mentioned, through our phone app, and we'll let's just say I'm eating lunch in Long Beach, you know, or you know, we just left a call in Lakewood, which I could get to Compton in 5 minutes. We could be there with the short ETA, and we'll respond and be there in 5 minutes and assist in the search. Because in addition to us, Compton deputies are also going to be doing searches as well. So the first line is to answer your question. You call the sheriff station, and they should be answering that question, or you should be providing it voluntarily. Hey, my member's a Project Lifesaver, and they'll kind of get the ball rolling in a sense first.
Would the process be the same if I were to live in Long Beach?
And that's what the key right there is. After this press release, our lieutenant also emailed all the chief of polices and in all LA County, all cities, so all 88 cities in LA County, we're going to be the lead agency. Doesn't matter if you're an incorporated city like Los Angeles or Long Beach, we're still taking the lead as a mutual aid request. That's what we call when we assist other police departments. So we'll respond, and then there's a form, actually, I just saw it the other day. They're going to put it at dispatch centers saying, you know, if a member of Project Lifesaver, and it has our number, call Met Triage Desk. And I guess the key to this is just educating police departments. Because this is something that, I'll be honest with you, up until 6 months ago, I never heard of Project Lifesaver, which even though it's been around for 20 years. So it's just kind of educating the public, you know, the caregivers, the police departments, the dispatchers, the patrol. So it's a whole, I guess in the first day is a learning curve, but and hopefully with this takes off, it'll be kind of a second nature. Oh, your loved one's missing, are they all-time, are they a member? Oh, they are? Okay, hold on, sir. Call triage desk, okay, cool, we get a unit back within 5 minutes? Perfect, we'll send them, if we need to, lights and sirens, we'll get there fast, you know, we'll have the code. And they said people, according to the study, that they should say that was in Long Beach, units rolling in, didn't know the person's name, didn't know what they looked like, all they knew was the frequency, and rolling in, they're picking up a code. They just drive, they see a guy walking down the street with a bracelet. Hey, get out of the car, identify the police officer. Oh, hey, so you lost? Oh, yeah, we can't find my, you know, hop in the car. They bring him back to the scene without even going to the location to get his name, where he's wearing, just by the number itself.
And the other benefit too, being in Long Beach, that's where we have our Aero unit, and we have 2 of these devices in the helicopters. I mean, righteously, they could be, you know, notified within a minute, and they could be doing an active search also to pick up that initial signal, which would kind of, even if, say, we as ground units had a longer ETA, like 30 minutes, if the helicopter can pick it up and put all the regular deputies that are doing the initial missing person search into an area, it increases the chances of finding them.
So just to be clear, do they have to call 911 or they have to call the specific sheriff station directly to report?
You could do either or.
Either
If it's 911, if it's
It's emergent,
But-
if it's emergent enough, you know.
direct them to typically
Okay.
Yeah.
their local.
Okay.
And I think
Local
that's
office.
what the communication is going to be.
That's key. That's key.
I
That,
think that the communication is gonna be that they don't wait, that they just call 911.
Yeah, and that's typically what happens anyways, people call 911 because they're in panic mode, that to them, that's an emergency situation, that's fine. Any missing child, a missing adult, so especially with somebody who's taking, insulin or something like that, has some medical problem where they're dependent on medicine to survive, that's a critical situation, so calling 911 would be quite appropriate for that, that's fine.
I have a couple of questions. So you said you have 2 units in helicopters. How many ground units?
we have
Four
right
right
now.
now.
We have
There's 4, right?
8 of these.
Okay.
So we have 2 are going to be staged. One's going to be staged in Lancaster, 1 in Santa Clarita, 2 in South El Monte. That's our station. 2 are going to be at our Communications Fleet Management Bureau, which is in East LA. They're going to, and if we need to, they have the big trucks that they can bring out, the huge antennas. One's going to be Aero unit in Long Beach, another Aero in was it Lancaster or Palmdale?
Yeah, it's
Palmdale?
Antelope Valley.
And then myself and Sergeant Bojo are going to keep one in our trunks.
Yeah.
I park my car in Whittier, so if I could be rolling from Whittier, and he rolls out east, so we're going to cover all east. So theoretically, hopefully we're going to stage them strategically throughout LA County. So and you could, as you've seen, you only need 1 person to do a search. In a perfect setting, we can hopefully have 3 so we could triangulate it. And that's the training we did, it was try to triangulate it. You could accomplish it with just 1, but 3, you'll see when we did it live, you could find this within 5 minutes, with the triangulation of it.
And my other question is the Project Lifesaver literature talks about a home device, like home-based device, that's kind of geofencing type situation,
We're not covering that because that covers the GPS, and that's a sub-product that they offer.
so it's not part of the.
It's not part of the package, or
It's not part of this package.
the pilot program.
If somebody wanted to, you can log on to the website, I think it's called PAL, I forget what it's called. It's a PAL, it's a geofence that if you have somebody that tends to wander a lot, it doesn't find them, it just alerts you that they've gone outside your area.
But that's an
You
option,
just-
yeah.
And that's an option, and
So
that's
it's not-
fine.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we're not going to be.
We're not doing that at this point, but it is available, and if somebody's enrolled in a Project Lifesaver, they can log on to their website and they're entitled to get whatever's available to them, but it's at their cost.
And one thing we didn't mention is we're still looking at it, hopefully just for fun, but a drone too.
Yeah.
Specifically in our MOU and our policy with our drone program in LA County Sheriffs for search and rescue operations, this will fall under that umbrella. Let's just say they go to the mountains where a helicopter, the terrain or the weather, let's say it's foggy, or let's just say the time of day. Our helicopters, just say they're down for maintenance or weather or whatever it may be, if they're not able to fly. A drone is an option as well to get that 3-mile search. It's just an option we're looking into that would assist us, and like I said, especially with these mutual aid requests covering all of LA County and the Catalina Island. That's an option too. That's part of LA County, all the way to Lancaster to Malibu to Catalina, and then out east. What's your question?
To order it, can they go online to get it? Do they have to walk into an office?
For
What makes
for
them-
this one?
Yes, what makes them eligible? How can someone, once you release the information, where are they gonna call to get the information? And
So-
what?
Yeah,
good.
that's our program, so we'll have an initial pilot of 130 devices that we're gonna issue to what we call frequent wandering
Okay.
individuals. And then, but the public, that's one of the things that we're currently gonna need to discuss with Project
Yes,
Lifesaver, the opportunity for members of the general public to be able to just buy a device directly, and then, so they can, if you can afford to spend, because each device is approximately $300. So if you can afford to purchase a device for your loved one, then how is that process going to be, and how can the person go
Correct,
ahead?
and we're still talking, like for example, let's just use Manhattan Beach Police Department. I've been working with their sergeant over there, and we're gonna issue 2 of them, right? 2 of them as part of the pilot program, but he was already throwing an initiative on the ballot. Let's say their city council says we wanna purchase 10 more. to issue out. So those 10 will still be the person responsible for searching for them, even though they purchased their own 10. But we're working on with the ones that issued 130
Yes.
for free, and then but the 10. So the 130 is going to be property of LA County after the program, or if they have to be a resident. But let's just say the 10 that Manhattan Beach is going to buy will be this, because we took a 3-day training course and you have to be certified. We're certified instructors now to train. Let's just say, but they could use the equipment, but to buy the equipment, and that's a whole nother. I'm sure you're part of the email chain as far as how to be an umbrella for the insurance policy and to be an umbrella. Like you have to be a member, and next in 2 weeks, my other partner and I were going to a conference to cover see the drone search and all that other good stuff.
So, Project Lifesaver is a proprietary system, and you have to have certain licenses at certain levels, and you have to buy into, which is fine. But this is spreading. I mean, it's international. It's really proven to be an effective tool to find loved ones that are wearing the device. The average. I've been on many missing person searches where we don't find them. We do everything we can. We run it for 12, 14 hours, utilizing a ton of resources. It costs a lot of money, and then at the end, what do? We file the report. We have the medical and dental waivers. We send the missing person report to homicide if it's an adult. If it's juvenile, our detective bureau keeps it. So we're just hoping to find somebody, or the sad part is we find a body, and we're able to match it with that report. With this, now we can find them within 5 minutes to an hour. Is the average, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it takes longer. It could be a broader search, depending on your tools availability and stuff like that. Like again, with the helicopters, it really helps. It's just an extra tool. With a drone, when the helicopter is available, because I was at the airfield for a little bit, and there's times where helicopters, they fly by, you fly by sight. Everything's oriented to the horizon, the ground, and everything. The pilot, there's no computers in there where it's like autopilot and it'll land itself. It's all fly by sight. So any bad weather or any restriction or anything like that, where a helicopter can't go or can't fly, that's when the drone would come in good use. So it's just, they're all tools, but this thing really helps with the initial recovery of the patient.
Any other questions? No other questions? Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
You were very